sorry if you just caught the beginning of that other video. My phone fell into my rib mixture and I had to stop the video really quick. So we're back here now, and so I'm gonna show you what we are doing with the ribs that we made in the crock pot yesterday. So these, it turned out perfectly. Hold on, I need to get a fork. It's nice and tender, just how I wanted it. Oh my gosh, it tastes amazing. The only other tip I have is to make sure that you don't take it out prematurely. It took about 6.5 hours. So around like 6 hours, I was like, this is feeling kind of like it's not gonna work and fall apart like I wanted. But I gave it like an extra half an hour to 40 minutes and then it turned out perfectly. Also, there was a lot of liquid from the meat. So I had to add a little bit more barbecue sauce. Obviously, if you like the way it tastes, you don't have to, but if you are looking for more of a barbecue flavor, then you're gonna wanna add a little bit more. But it is so good, it's so tender. It fell right apart. It's so good. So we're gonna have those tonight on the Italian sub buns that I had yesterday. But we're gonna add to it some coleslaw. And so I have a bag of this tri-colored coleslaw, which is my favorite. I just think it has more flavor than just the regular cabbage coleslaw. So I'm putting that into its own little bowl here. If I can open the bag. There we go. So it just has red cabbage, corn, and maybe like a romaine. Green cabbage, carrots, red cabbage. Okay, well, yeah. So I'm keeping this in its own bowl here. And in a separate bowl, I'm going to make the dressing that's going to go over that. So actually what I'm going to do really quick is just add a little pinch of salt. Now, there's lots of different ways to make coleslaw. This is my favorite recipe. I found this on Pinterest years ago, and it's the only one that I use anymore. So the way you start is with about a cup of mayo. And so since I don't really measure, I count to like 8 seconds and then that's good enough. And then we use a couple of tablespoons of Dijon. So it's like 2 squirts. And then we use some apple cider vinegar. And so if you know the story about me in Walmart, I love doing the Walmart pickup. One of the reasons why I love doing that is because I've had lots of success ordering a smaller version and then they're out of it and then they give me a larger version. And so the apple cider vinegar is one of those things that I got. I ordered the really tiny one and they were out, and so they gave me this giant one. So I have apple cider vinegar for probably the next 5 years because literally I just had to throw out my tiny one apple cider vinegar because it was like 2 years old and I didn't even know when I was using it. So I'm gonna have this for quite a while. So I do measure with the apple cider vinegar just because it can get a little out of hand if you don't pay attention to what how you're measuring it. So I am gonna do 2 tablespoons. And then, I'm gonna dry this out. And also I don't like for my dressing to be very sugary, so I do measure out my sugar, and I only do 1 tablespoon. You can always add more if you would like. And then a little bit of onion powder. So just like a little handful, a palmful, sorry. And then, of course, I love salt, so a little bit of salt and a pinch of pepper. And also, I usually add celery seed, but I don't have any celery seed because I think I must have used it all. So I'm going to whisk that all together. And as you go, just make sure that it tastes the way that you want. After it sits in the fridge for a while and really gets into the coleslaw, you know, it'll have the flavor will be more there, but Oh my God, it's perfect. Just to have a little bit of an idea. And then you can always add more salt or whatever you want as you see fit later on. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of this and pour it over the top. Mix it together. And you want to make sure that if you're doing this meal that you do this earlier so that it has time to be in the refrigerator and really get all of that flavor developed. And also because who really likes warm coleslaw? Not me. Okay, and then I'm going to put the rest of it over top here. And the celery seed is really something that you'll want to have. I'm going to go out in a little bit and grab some to put on it, but you don't want to put a lot on because if you put too much on, it will be very bitter. So just a tiny, tiny bit is good. And if you don't have it, it's no big deal. It'll still taste just as good. Just a little bit more. And then, so what I'm gonna do, like I said, is I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna make like an Italian sub, or not an Italian sub, I'm just gonna make like pulled pork sandwiches and I'm putting it over the Italian subs that we have right now. If you have like the Hawaiian sliders, like the Hawaiian sweetbread sliders, or if you have cornbread that you wanna make, you can put the meat in this over top of it. So let me just give it a little taste here. It's perfect. That recipe is perfect. It never fails. Every single time it always goes through. Okay, so yeah, so cornbread or whatever you want to use. So recipe for yesterday turned out perfectly. I got the ribs at House of Meats. It was like Western style ribs, and then I just cut it off the bone and put it in the crock pot for 6.5 hours on low. Make sure it's on low. And then the coleslaw that we'll put over it. I'm also gonna serve with baked beans and probably mac and cheese for the girls. So I hope everyone likes this recipe. If you do like this recipe, could you share this video for me, please? And then don't forget to check out YouTube and my blog. Have a good Tuesday, guys. Bye.